Well, just tell people who are living under a rock and not watching YouTube and can't see what it is. What is VitHit?
VitHit is this product here in front of me. It's a low-calorie and low-sugar vitamin drink. And I created it all the way back in 1998 and registered my company in 2000. And the whole idea behind it was I saw everybody drinking sugary drinks, and I just thought there must be an alternative way. And I had no history whatsoever in the drinks business. But I thought I could, in my naivety, I thought I could just take on the business and win straight away without even knowing how to do it. I just had this idea and I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And about 9 years later, I was losing a lot of money, lost my house, lost my car. So at that stage, it wasn't a great idea, but I hung in there and came out the other end. And now VitHit is doing quite well in various, about 16 different territories around the world.
It kind of feels like this is your time. Like me and Ben were chatting about this earlier, like just there's a movement, there's two extremes, right? And we chatted about this briefly as well about food. You know, there's two extremes to like really healthy and really unhealthy, and it seems the middle is kind of disappearing. Like if you come to our house, it's either sparkling water, milk, or VitHit. They're the only three things in our house. We don't have soft drinks. Like, we're super healthy, and it kind of feels like now is the time for VitHit. Like, whereas before it was only super healthy people, whereas now it's much broader because people are much more into their health. So it kind of feels like now is the time.
Yeah, well, I deliberately designed it that way that it would be easy for people to move away from unhealthy drinks to healthy drinks. So I spent about a year to a year and a half on each drink because I wanted to taste just as good as Coca-Cola, Lucozade, or whatever. So if someone takes a VitHit one day and they're like, oh, you're going to think, oh, it's not going to taste great because it's healthy. And you go, oh, wow, that tastes just as good as my sugary drink. Then you have them for life.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing. I always wanted to be mainstream. I never wanted to be in the back of the store. And the other thing was, I'm not sure whether when I lost money for 11 years is because I just didn't know what I was doing or the country wasn't ready for it. You know, if you think back, so I went to Australia to live for a year back in 1990. And I was playing rugby down there and working on a building site. And I remember specifically I'd come home in the morning at about 5 a.m. from the building site, or was the nightclub, I can't quite remember. But I remember going down by the Brisbane River and people would be jogging into work. And I'd never seen that before. That just didn't happen in Ireland. Nobody went out in the morning and jogged. And now you see it. You go to Sandyman Strand or any strand in Ireland and you see them in the morning and there's hundreds of people out jogging and staying fit. So there is now, fitness and health is now a mainstream thing. And then, look, you could get on to the obesity issues. I have my opinions about all that. But the basic premise behind VitHit was, why would you take something that has 28 grams of sugar, which is going to make you fat, or you take something like this, which is only 6 grams of sugar? So you're saving yourself 75% of the sugar intake in a day. Like, why would you go for the sugar option? And people are it's now mainstream. People are kind of getting it more and more now.
It's interesting because we kind of talked about this earlier about like, people don't really get it. I think they don't kind of understand 28 grams of sugar. Kind of shrug their shoulders and on they go. Whereas when you see it like this and you package it up, you kind of go, okay, that, no mathematician like you said, but that's a lot. That's a huge difference. Yeah,
if I was to do one thing to educate kids in this country, because we have a serious obesity epidemic here. You just see it when you land and you're abroad for a while and you see it, and it's quite shocking. And if I was to just teach people one thing, it'd be just how to read a label. And just remember this: your kids can only process 15 grams of sugar a day. The average bottle of Lucozade contains 28 grams of sugar.
Jesus.
So if you just remember that, and you can only process 20 grams of sugar a day. So if you just remember that, just that basic premise, so everything from that point onwards, whether it's a chocolate biscuit or a muffin or a little treat for your kid, and if you're wondering why your kid has a weight problem, or if you have a weight problem or anything like that, that's the first thing that you can do, is just cut down your sugar. It's so important. And it's the main reason why we have such obesity problems in Europe right now, is that snacking of available sugar things. We're never hungry anymore. You know, we used to have 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch and dinner. Now it's probably 8 meals because you're taking chocolate bars and you're taking protein bars and you're never giving your body a rest. So that's the other thing I would do. I'd stick to 3 meals a day so your body can kind of go into that fasting area. So sugar and 3 meals.
Yeah, you go into a shop and it's literally stuffed to the gills with sweets, sugar, snacks, and they're all packaged up, and there's so many like high protein, low fat, low sugar, low carb, and you're like, you can see how people get confused. Even if they're trying to make the good decision, you can see how they're kind of like baited and switched with all these kind of like healthy products. If it's in a package, you know, it's been processed. You know, no matter how you look at it, like, you know, whereas like you go in, you try like, I'm going to get a healthy snack. Very few shops. You have to really look for it.
Yeah, and by the way, sugar is highly addictive. There's a lot of tests to say it's as addictive as cocaine. And I know this because years ago, oh gosh, it was like 25 years ago, I went to a personal trainer and he said to me, he said, look, there's this new thing called keto diets. He said, you just give up sugar. And I said, I can do that, no problem. And I had no idea how much sugar I was taking every day. And I'll never forget it. I went to him at like 10 o'clock in the morning, and by 8 o'clock at night, I was having sugar sweats. I really needed sugar. So I went down to my local shop and I bought a packet of Jaffa cakes and I emptied them into my mouth. And I was like, I am a sugar addict. And I never knew, because it's just something that is just percolates into your life over years.
But it's in everything. It's in absolutely.
It's in everything,
if you go and you're doing your weekly shop, and we're going on a rant here, but we'll rant a little bit. If you do your weekly shop and you're looking around, if you look at sauces or anything that's really good that you add to your food, full of sugar. The second ingredient, like you read the label, and the second ingredient is nearly always sugar. You're like, oh, I wonder why a sauce tastes so good when I buy it or when I have it in a restaurant. Whereas when you make your own sauce at home, if you literally, you wouldn't be scooping in 6 tablespoons of sugar, because you'd be like, geez, that's really unhealthy. But it's hidden in everything.
Well, a really simple thing, and I have no affiliation with them whatsoever. There's an app called MyFitnessPal.
Use it every day.
It's incredible. And, you know, because people are often confused by this. They're confused by the amount of sugar in your tea and how much sugar do I need and blah, blah, blah. So if you don't want to stick to the 15 to 20 grams of sugar a day, just put everything you have into MyFitnessPal. It's unbelievable. I have friends who have lost a lot of weight and got really healthy by just going through that and going, you know, you sure, I eat sausages every Saturday, and you look at it and go, oh my God, there's 350 calories in a sausage or whatever it is. Then they go, well, no.
It's not about fear. It's just about education.
Yeah, it's completely.
When I say to people, people are like, oh, I can't get fit, I can't get healthy. I'm like, okay, don't worry about it. Like, so park that. Just go for a walk once a day. The rest of the time, just track your food for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't believe I was eating that much, or I can't believe I was eating this much sugar.
It's incredible.
If you just literally log your food for 2 weeks, you will be blown away by what you eat.
Yeah, yet again, technology can help you that way.
But you literally can just scan the packet. It's an incredible app.